Hi, my name is David, and this is Tucker. Tucker, come here. Come here, buds. Say hi. Say hi. He is an Australian cattle dog that we rescued from Montana, and he is one of our bestest of friends. I am so excited to have found this contest. I heard about it through Outside Online, one of my favorite sites to go catch up on gear reviews and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm really excited to find out about this contest for three reasons. First of all is that you guys rock, you make an awesome product. I have two of my good friends that have Tepui tents on their vehicles. One has a hard top on his Tahoe. He lives up in Montana and he uses that all over the place. And I also have friends down in Oregon, and they have a soft top that they use on their Titan truck, and they love going all over the U.S. and adventuring all over with it. I've heard nothing but good stuff from them, and I really love and be excited to try one out. The second reason is that I love adventuring. I love being outdoors, exploring, going wherever I can. I've been through 47 states so far. I only have one more in the lower 48. I have Washington left, and that's part of this trip. And I also have Alaska and Hawaii, which I'll knock out eventually too. And then the third reason that I'm most excited about this trip is that my wife, who I've recently married, is all about adventuring. She loves traveling, seeing new places, meeting new people, having new experiences. And the only reason that it's just me and Tucker here today is that this is kind of a surprise for her. This is her birthday this week, and she's been talking about a trip through the Pacific Northwest since the very first day that I met her. And it is my hope and dream that I can make that a reality this year. And I would love to do a 3-week trip all throughout the Pacific Northwest. And another reason that we'd love to start this trip is that we're looking forward to starting a family soon, and we'd love to go on one last longer, more epic adventure before we start that adventure and include many more adventures past that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my family through some pictures of some of our favorite adventures that we've had. And then afterwards, I'll take you on an animated tour of the trip that we're looking forward to doing this summer. So, my name is David, and some of my favorite things to do are things like skiing. I love skiing whenever I can. I love living life on the edge. I love building campfires. I love beardsicles. I love getting them while I'm snowboarding. I love mountain biking wherever I can. It's one of my new favorite sports. I've always loved rock climbing, and one of my all-time favorites will always be hiking around. And this is Tucker Dog, and Tucker loves to play fetch. He loves cruising around in his adventure mobile. He loves to sleep. He loves blazing new trails. He's also an avid lover of hiking. He loves sticks, and he loves trampling through snow. And then lastly, and most importantly, this is my amazing wife, Anne, and she loves being on the coast. This is her home here in California, is where we're from, and she's loved it here her whole life. She loves photography. She also loves hiking. She loves being in the mountains, going on adventures. She loves doing yoga. Her all-time favorite sport is kayaking, and she loves just being in nature. And so our family, we met in Montana during a friend's Thanksgiving, and from there, our first 3 dates were in national parks. That included here in California, and then up in Yellowstone, doing some snowmobiling and sightseeing, and then down in Yosemite and the Redwoods. We got engaged. She flew out to Montana and helped me pack all my gear up, and we headed out on our first road trip together, which was down to California, from Big Sky, Montana, where I was from. And since then we've had all kinds of adventures, going over national parks and having fun experiences, going out to Utah and exploring, out to Colorado, and also enjoying the great state of California. We got married last October, and we of course had to have an outdoor wedding, and what not better place than Sequoia National Park. So we got married at 7,000 feet and just had a small, intimate, beautiful wedding. And one of our recent adventures, of course, after that was going to get Tucker, who you met earlier. He came from the great state of Montana, where some of my best friends, they had a litter and they needed homes for puppies, so we drove up the 1,000+ miles and picked him up on a 3-day turnaround trip. That was super quick. So that's a little bit about us, and so the trip that we would really love to go on is through the Pacific Northwest, starting out in Colorado. And I built this map from Animaps, and let's go on a little tour of what I'd like to do. So we're going to start off on our adventure mobile, and we're going to cruise on up to Lassen Volcanic National Park. We'll visit things like Mount Lassen, hopefully summit that. And then we'll cruise on down to Brokoff Mountain, which has amazing views of the northern Sierras. And then we'll cruise on over to the Painted Dunes. And those are also some beautiful, just beautiful hills from a volcanic place. There's also a little, another little mountain up there we might go hit up. And during that adventure, we'll probably stay at Butte Lake, which is a beautiful lake, and we'll do some kayaking and hanging out there in our Tepui tent. And then we're going to cruise on up to the Lava Beds National Monument. From there, there's amazing hikes and things to explore, like Fern Cave. There's lots of just little gems hidden all over that monument. And then from there, we'll go up to Tule Lake. There's a World War II monument over there that we'd love to stop by and pay our respects to. And then after that, we'll cruise up to Crater Lake National Park, which is a place that we've wanted to go ever since we met. And so we'd love to make that a reality. And we can do things like hike up to Wizard Island, also hike up to Mount Scott, which is the highest point in the park. And then we'll cruise on up to the north side, and we have some really awesome cliff jumping and also some camping that we'll do over at Cleetwood Cove. And then we'll keep heading up north. We'll go through Bend, Oregon, and then up through Redmond. We'll stop at Smith Rock State Park. They have lots of good hiking and biking and all kinds of explorers. It's a beautiful place, also some rock climbing, things like that. And then we'll cruise on over to the Painted Hills of Oregon, which is one of the 7 wonders of the state. And I've always seen amazing, beautiful pictures of them, and I'm very excited to see them. After that, we'll take a short rest day at Catchess Lake up in Washington. Just hanging out, doing some kayaking, walking around. And then after that, we'll cruise over to Tiger Mountain, which is east of Seattle. And that's some of the best mountain biking trails in the state of Washington, which I'm very excited to experience. And then after that, we're going to cruise up to North Cascades National Park, which I've heard is one of the most beautiful national parks. If it beats Glacier National Park, then I'll be very impressed. One hike that we want to do is Maple Pass. They just have epic views of the entire mountain range from there. And then after that, we're going to cruise over to Mount Baker, and that's one of the 3 more notorious peaks in Washington. And we might climb or at least hike for sure around it. I'm not sure if we'll make it all the way to the top or not, but we might give that a shot. Then afterwards, we'll cruise up to Vancouver, and that's where we spent our honeymoon, and we love that place a lot. Excited to go back. We'll cruise down to the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve, beautiful part on Victoria Island, and then we'll take a ferry down to Port Angeles in Olympic National Park, do some awesome hiking through the rainforest there. Had a buddy that was a park ranger, and he loves that place. Stop at Crescent Lake, do some kayaking and hanging out. Cruise up to Tongue Point and do some exploring along there. And then we'll cruise back down south finally, and we'll head towards Mount Rainier National Park, and we'll experience that park and all the beauty of Mount Rainier has to offer. And then we'll cruise on down to Tillamook, Oregon, where we'll probably eat way too much ice cream, but you know, it's been a long trip, so it's all good. And we'll cruise down the coast to back to California, where we'll see our epic California sunsets from the coast. And then finally, 21 days later, we'll drop back home to San Jose. So that's our trip, and we would love to make it a Tepui adventure. I would love to explore that with Ann and Tucker, and I also have some fun ideas for telling it from the perspective of Tucker. This would be one of his greatest adventures, not that he hasn't been on a bunch already, but he's always looking forward to the next one. So that's what I'd love to do, and yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on this contest. I think this is a great idea, and I love exploring. So thanks Tepui.